This started off as, we didn't know that, we didn't think that we had some of the language in the current ordinance. So the ordinance that's in front of you now is just really some cleaning up of language. There's some, in the existing fireworks ordinance, there's some novelty language that we actually can't enforce at the local level. It has to be enforced at the state level. So this is just as we kind of enter into fireworks season, this is a house cleaning effort to clean up the ordinance. Again, this does deal with addressing the discharge rules, that consumer fireworks may be discharged only on the day before, the day of, and the day after a national holiday, and we do spell out the national holiday. That really isn't that different. That's what we wanted to make sure was covered, though, because we do have a major issue with people setting off fireworks for 2 months, and it's difficult to police. But as long as there's the ordinance, then we have a little bit of teeth to do so. So there's really not a lot of changes in this ordinance, just some cleaning up of the language.
This, the only one, like section 22-103, sale of commercial fireworks. Is this eliminating the tent sales?
No.
Okay.
No, it can't.
Because it defines it as, right, that's what I thought, because
Yeah.
the state governs that, right? Okay.
Yeah.
We have to do, we don't have to do this as a first and second
You
reading?
do.
Okay,
This
so
would be the
will
first reading, yeah.
And we'll make that 5A.
5A.
Or 5B, 5A.
That's fine. 5A is good.
Okay, and then 5B would be,
This
removal
is-
of the temporary fence?
Yeah, this is consistent with the new ordinance as well about fencing in the entire carnival. Based on our experience last year with the festival, Madam Chair, the carnival this year, we're going to completely fence in, and we're going to also charge an admission fee to get into the event, so that we can hopefully control who's coming in and out. The fee that we're going to charge is going to be basically, they're going to purchase like a carnival bucks. So it won't be just a fee to get in, they'll actually have the ability to use it once they get inside. But this is going to keep the people out that just want to come in and loiter and hang out and cause trouble, versus the people that actually want to come in and spend money.
Now, are you having the carnival people make this charge?
Yes, they're going to man the gate, yeah.
Okay.
We're going to pay for this. We met with the police chief and the police department, and they felt that the fence was a pretty critical component to add this year to help improve the festival experience. So this is going to actually be funded through federal forfeiture funds, and we're going to fence in just the carnival portion to try to make it a safer environment.
Everyone or just a specific?
Just the Taylor Festival. This
Oh,
is just
our
for the
festival.
Taylor Festival.
Okay, okay, got it.
No, the other folks are on their own.
Okay, got it.
So it's gonna basically just go around the community center out to the front.
Yeah, we'll have an entrance kind of off the, you know, where you come in off Pardee Road, there will be an entrance coming in there, and it'll be manned by the carnival employees.
I like how the fact that if you're paying an entry fee, you get like tickets to use for the rides or whatever, so therefore it's basically, you're not really paying as long as you're going to use the rides or whatever.
Right, we didn't want to, we were trying to figure out a way to charge them like $2 to get in, and then we would rebate the wristbands. There was no easy way to do it, so actually Elliott Entertainment came up with the idea of the carnival bucks. So we'll charge them like a $10 carnival bucks. The other thing is, if you're under the age of 18, you won't be admitted without an adult. So there's going to be some other things that we implement to try to keep out the big groups of kids that came in late last year and caused a lot of the problems. I'm sure it won't be popular with everyone. I mean, I'm sure that, you know, there will be some that don't like the idea that we're making changes. But we have to have a family event here. I mean, it has to be fun, it has to be safe.
I think anybody that was there last year when that was all going down wouldn't think twice about it.
Yeah.
Question, do we have only one entrance and exit, or are we going to have emergency exits?
Yeah, there will be other, like, there, in terms of the fenced area, we'll work with the police department and the fire department to make sure that the emergency exits are covered, but there will be one way in and one way out under normal circumstances. Madam Chair,
That's 5 feet, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
5 feet, okay.
And
if there's no more questions on this, the other item that I'm going to turn it over to Jeff on before, other than the Pinewood, Jeff wants to talk about a grant application that was due today that he actually had to drive to Lansing to submit. It'll be a receive and file, but I'll turn it over to Jeff Baum and he can go through the details.
Thanks. We just learned of this grant's availability last week, so that's why it's last minute, so I apologize. What the grant is the state recouped some funds from predatory lenders back from the Great Recession of 2008, and are reallocating those funds. You can apply for them to receive grants, and it's basically for areas that are, it's basically geared towards economic development areas, and that's why we thought Fletcher School, we had already planned on using CDBG funds to tear it down anyways. This is an opportunity to receive some grant funds that we would not have to pay back. So it is a match. We would have to match 20% from our CDBG. The estimated cost to tear down that building with abatement is looking to be about $230,000. So we would only be on the hook for $50,000. And then even if we sold it to an investor or we developed it, we would have to pay those funds back. So if the city was to make any money from selling the land, it would go more towards general fund rather than towards back into community development. So it would benefit us in that regards as well. But that's pretty much it. And it's a quick turnaround. We'll have a decision by June 30th. So right now it looks like if we did get the grant, we would receive about $180,000 and we would come out of our CDBG $50,000.
So if we sold that property, would we have to pay back the CDBG portion?
That portion, yes. The $50,000 would, it's not paying it back, it would just be reinvested for other projects in CDBG.
So that would come off the top, go back in that and reinvest it?
Right. If we tore it down with just CDBG funds, you would have to reimburse CDBG the complete demolition amount. So looking at the guidelines, it was a really good fit because of all the economic development we have going on in the area with Menards, the renovation at the mall, you have lumber liquidators, all that stuff going on. And the overhead map, that school is right in the middle of all that. As well as residential, and we highlighted the amount of criminal activity over there, that it's stripped. We can't even keep it boarded up. So we have a lot of loitering going on over there, a lot of broken glass. So it is a hazard to the community. And we have 2 condo developments and apartments right there, and it's right in the middle of that as well. So we feel like if we can get this grant, it would help us a great deal.
Where'd you learn about this grant?
Joan Hennessy actually brought it to my attention.
Oh, good.
And
what's the
so
name of the grant?
it's through MISTA. It's called the Michigan Blight Elimination Program. If you want, I should have did that earlier. I'll forward all the guidelines that they sent to you so that you guys can review it as well. But once you review it, it is a perfect fit for what we're trying to do there.
Madam Chair, on paper, the grant looks really good, the fit looks really good. The thing that we have to keep in mind that we're competing with a lot of other communities for the same grant, Highland Park, River Rouge, E-Course. Detroit is exempt from it, so we're not competing with Detroit, but just keep in mind that, we want to be optimistic about the possibility of receiving this grant, but we also have to be realistic that, we're in a group of people that have a lot of other needs as well. One of the reasons we think that we have a unique advantage is because of the location, but also because we're willing to include a match. Most of those communities don't have the financial ability to include the match, so they probably won't apply accordingly, where this does have a 20% match. So we do think it's a good fit. We do think that we're in a good position, and we'll ultimately know within 30 days of whether or not we receive it.
If we don't get the grant, could we take the whole $230 out of CDBG?
Yes,
and
that's the
then
plan. We use program income.
Did you say that and I wasn't listening?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I thought it though, I thought about
Oh,
it.
I know.
But either way, it's coming
Right.
down.
That's
Hopefully
what
we
we
get some assistance from
Okay.
that grant.
Okay, right.